Have you ever walked into a home and immediately felt your energy drain, as if the very space itself was sapping your peace? As we age, our time and energy become more precious, and where we spend both is crucial to our well-being. But too often, we continue to visit places and spend time with people who only leave us feeling exhausted, unappreciated, or even disrespected. In this video, we're going to reveal 7 types of homes you should avoid visiting in your later years, and why protecting your peace is just as important as protecting your health. Whether you're tired of the drama, the negativity, or the one-sided relationships, these insights will empower you to make better choices about where you invest your time. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to reclaim your peace and protect your happiness by avoiding certain people and environments that no longer serve you. If you want to live a more peaceful, joyful life, this video will help you recognize the red flags, learn how to let go of what no longer nurtures you, and embrace the freedom of creating space for only the relationships and environments that truly uplift you. Stay tuned until the end and discover how choosing your peace over social obligations can transform your life. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Number 1. The home where you are not genuinely welcome. There are few experiences more painful and humiliating than being in a space where you are not truly welcome. It's one of those situations that can pierce deep into the soul, leaving a mark that lingers far longer than it should. The signs are often subtle, but they cut just as deeply. You might first notice it in the tone of their voice, an unspoken coolness that sets you apart from the rest. It's not something they say directly, but it's there in the way they greet you. It's more of a polite formality than genuine warmth. When you arrive, the enthusiasm is missing, almost as if your presence is a mere formality rather than something they are happy to see. You feel the difference, don't you? And it doesn't stop there. The conversations that follow are riddled with awkward silences, forced small talk, and the kind of exchanges that feel more like a chore than an enjoyable interaction. You can sense the emotional distance in the air, like a cold, heavy fog that makes it hard to breathe freely. Over time, these signs start to add up, leaving you feeling like an outsider in a place that should feel like home. That feeling of being unwanted, it's suffocating. It's heartbreaking to realize that, despite all your efforts, you're not a part of their world. And yet, it's also empowering to finally face the truth. It's a truth that many of us are hesitant to admit, but we must come to terms with it as we age. We don't have time to waste on people who don't appreciate us. The moments we have left are too precious to squander on relationships that drain us instead of nurturing our spirit. As we get older, we should be selective about the company we keep. We deserve to be surrounded by those who see us, who appreciate the richness of our experience, and who find joy in our presence. There is no room in our lives for superficial relationships, no space for people who only make an effort when it's convenient for them. We deserve to feel valued and respected in the spaces we inhabit, not like a ghost drifting through a place where we don't truly belong. So, if you find yourself in a home where you feel like an obligation rather than a guest, don't ignore the signs. Your time is too valuable, your emotional well-being too fragile, to waste it in a place where you're not wanted. I can't stress this enough. If your presence feels like it's being tolerated rather than celebrated, if the people around you don't make an effort to genuinely connect with you, then step away. Don't go back. Don't allow yourself to keep giving pieces of your heart to a place that's not willing to offer any warmth in return. Remember, your worth is not determined by how others treat you, but by how you choose to treat yourself. Surround yourself with those who make you feel seen, who offer kindness and love freely, and who actively show they are glad you're in their lives. These are the people who make life worth living, who fill our hearts with joy, not obligation. Cherish them, and don't let anyone make you feel small or unimportant again. Your time is too precious, and your happiness is far too important. So choose wisely, and let go of places where you're not wanted. It's time to live for you, to choose happiness, peace, and genuine connection. You deserve it. Number 2. The home where drama and negativity rule. Some people seem to live for drama, and their homes reflect this chaotic energy. The atmosphere is thick with tension, as constant arguments and complaints take center stage, overshadowing any moments of joy. These homes are filled with negativity, where every conversation feels like a heavy burden, and the air is so thick with gossip that it's hard to breathe freely. If you're someone who values peace, stepping into a home like this can feel like an emotional drain. It's like walking into a storm that leaves you feeling utterly exhausted, emotionally battered, and uncertain of where to even start finding comfort. As we grow older, we should place the highest value on our peace of mind. Our mental well-being becomes even more precious, and the need for emotional stability grows stronger. The idea of spending time in a space where stress is the foundation and negativity is the daily norm should be a non-starter for anyone, especially in later years. It's not just about avoiding toxic people. It's about recognizing that you deserve to be in environments that nurture your soul, environments that uplift you, recharge you, and remind you of the beauty that still exists in the world. You don't owe anyone your time, your energy, or your emotional peace if they can't offer you respect and harmony in return. For anyone who's been in these draining environments, it's easy to feel like you're slowly withering away under the weight of all that toxicity. It's as if every word spoken is another stone added to a heavy backpack you're forced to carry. The older we get, the more we realize just how valuable our time and energy truly are. We shouldn't waste them on places or people who only take from us without giving anything back. You deserve to live in serene spaces that are filled with love, respect, and kindness. Places where you can finally let go of the stress and embrace a life that lifts you, not one that drags you down. Number 3. The home where you are only needed, not valued. It's one of the most painful realizations you can have in a relationship, when you come to understand that the only time people reach out to you is when they need something. Maybe they ask you to babysit their children, handle some household chores, or lend them money when they're in a bind. They rely on you when they're in need, and for a moment, you feel valued, as if your presence in their life matters. But then, when you find yourself in need of something, anything, whether it's a simple conversation or just someone to lean on, they are nowhere to be found. It's as though you've disappeared from their thoughts the moment they don't have a use for you anymore. And that feeling, that hollow, aching feeling of being nothing more than a tool they use at their convenience, it's devastating. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. In those moments, you begin to realize the painful truth. You are not truly valued in the way you deserve. You're needed, yes, but only for what you can provide. When you're asked to help, your time and energy are quickly consumed by the demands of others. But when it's your turn to need support, to feel heard, or even just to have a moment of kindness extended to you, it's as if you're invisible. You feel discarded, unimportant, and, quite frankly, replaceable. It's a harsh reality, and no matter how much you care for them or how many times you've been there for them in the past, the pattern remains unchanged. This kind of one-sided dynamic is emotionally draining, and over time, it erodes your sense of self-worth. Your kindness, your time, your care, they're all being taken for granted. It's as if you're just a placeholder in their life. They're only to fill in the gaps when they're too overwhelmed or too desperate. This is not love, and it is not friendship. When you pour your energy into someone and never feel seen, heard, or valued for who you are as a person, it starts to feel like an emotional exploitation, not a healthy relationship. You may begin to question your worth, wondering why your emotional needs are being ignored, while theirs are consistently met with open arms. What hurts the most is that these people may not even realize what they're doing. They might think they're just asking for help, or that you'll always be there because you've been there for them so many times before. They might not see how their actions are draining you, how their demands are depleting your emotional reserves, or how much it stings when they don't return your calls or check on you when you're struggling. But you feel it deeply. The imbalance becomes impossible to ignore, and that's when the real damage starts. Your time, your energy, and your emotional labor are precious, and they should never be treated like they're disposable. You should never have to beg for attention, or the basic decency of a caring, mutual relationship. If you're constantly giving, always offering help, always providing emotional support, but never receiving even a fraction of that in return, then it's time to take a step back. You have the right to demand respect. You have the right to expect that those in your life will show you the same level of consideration, kindness, and loyalty that you so generously offer them. If you find yourself in this situation, where someone only reaches out when they need something and never makes the effort to check in on you, to ask how you're doing, or to show that they care, then be cautious. It's not just about the favors they ask. It's about the underlying message their behavior sends. It's a message that says, "I only care about you when it benefits me." And that's a message that should never be accepted, no matter how much you love the person or how much you want to keep the peace. Relationships in any form should be about balance, respect, and mutual care. You deserve to feel seen, valued, and appreciated for who you are, not just for what you can offer. Don't let anyone take your kindness for granted. Don't let your emotional needs be ignored while you continue to pour into others who are only interested in taking from you. You deserve more than that. You deserve relationships where your presence matters, where you're not just needed but truly valued, for everything you are, not just for what you can do. Don't be afraid to set boundaries. Don't be afraid to walk away from situations and people who treat you like you're only useful when they need something. Your emotional well-being is worth protecting. Don't let anyone make you feel less than for the kindness you've shown them. If they can't offer you the same respect and care, then it's time to let go. You are worth more than being in a one-sided relationship. You are deserving of deep, meaningful connections, not just those where your value is determined by how much you can give. Number 4. The home that feels like a burden. Have you ever gone to someone's home, and as soon as you step through the door, a knot formed in your stomach? There's an awkwardness in the air, a subtle discomfort that makes you second-guess why you came in the first place. You might notice that when you arrive, they barely smile or, worse, let out an almost imperceptible sigh, as if your visit is nothing more than an unwelcome interruption. Maybe they keep glancing at their watch, shifting their body language, or even taking a deep breath as if counting down the minutes until they leave. It feels like their house, which should be a place of warmth, is instead a space where you're merely tolerated. A home is supposed to be a refuge, a place where people should feel safe and embraced, where you're not just a guest, but someone whose presence is genuinely wanted and appreciated. It's where laughter is shared, where conversations flow freely, and where time together feels like a gift. Yet, there are those moments when you walk into someone's home and you can feel it in your bones. You don't belong there. You can sense their discomfort, their lack of interest, and a quiet, unspoken message that says, "I'd rather you not be here." And that's a hurtful realization, especially when you've always given of yourself, often without hesitation or complaint, to be there for others. When you feel like you're more of an inconvenience than a valued guest, it's not just emotionally draining, it's demoralizing. You start questioning whether your time, energy, and love matter at all. It's disheartening when you can't shake the feeling that no matter how much effort you put into nurturing the relationship, it's always a one-sided exchange. You're left asking yourself, why am I even bothering? That kind of emotional neglect is like a slow drip, eroding your self-worth, and it can become a toxic cycle that you don't even realize you're trapped in until it starts to weigh heavily on your heart. This is why it's so incredibly important to listen to that inner voice, that gut feeling that tells you when something is wrong. If you're repeatedly showing up to a place where you feel unseen, unappreciated, or unwanted, it's time to think about what you're getting from these visits. At some point, we have to acknowledge that no matter how much we love someone, we cannot force them to love us back in the same way, nor should we ever have to beg for their attention, affection, or respect. In these moments, Your emotional health is worth more than any visit or any interaction. Ask yourself, do I want to continue putting myself in situations where I feel like a burden? Do I want to keep seeking validation from people who don't care to offer it? It's painful, deeply painful, to realize that the people you care about may not care for you in return, or at least not in the way you need. But that's a wake-up call. You deserve so much more than being someone's obligation or last-minute thought. You are worthy of being welcomed with open arms, of being cherished, of being made to feel like you matter. It's about boundaries. It's about self-respect. There comes a time when you have to stop sacrificing your peace and your self-worth for the sake of others. If you find yourself feeling like an unwelcome guest, respect yourself enough to walk away. Choose to spend time with people who value you, people who make you feel like you're a part of their world. Not just someone who shows up when it's convenient or when there's nothing better to do. You are not meant to be an afterthought. Your presence should be celebrated, not endured. So, when you find yourself in those situations where you're feeling more like a burden than a guest, take a moment to reflect. Is this relationship nourishing me, or is it draining me? You deserve to be surrounded by love, respect, and genuine care. It's never easy to let go of relationships that aren't serving you well, but by choosing to step away from people who make you feel small, you're making room for those who will embrace you fully and wholeheartedly. You don't owe anyone your time or your energy if they don't value you the way you deserve. Life is too short to spend it in places that make you feel invisible. Number 5. The home where you are disrespected. Respect is not just a luxury, it's a fundamental need that every person deserves, especially as we grow older. Sadly, there are too many homes, and too many spaces, where respect is not only lacking but is actively replaced with dismissiveness, belittlement, and disregard. I've seen it with my own eyes, people interrupting when elders speak, not allowing them to finish a thought as if their words carry no weight. It's heartbreaking when your opinions are overlooked or, worse, dismissed as irrelevant. Imagine pouring years, maybe even decades, into building wisdom through life's experiences, only to have it treated like it doesn't matter. How painful must that be? If you ever find yourself in a place where you're treated like a burden or a nuisance, it's time to leave. It doesn't matter how much history or connection you have with the people there, your worth is non-negotiable. No one should ever feel like an outsider in their own home. We all deserve to be surrounded by people who not only hear us but listen. People who cherish and appreciate the space we occupy in their lives. If those people aren't in your life, then I urge you to make room for the ones who see you, who respect your journey, and who understand the beauty and significance of your presence. Life is too short to waste on environments that drain your spirit. Choose peace, choose respect, and never settle for less. Number 6. The home that is toxic for your mental health. There are some places, some homes, where the moment you step through the door, you can feel a heavy weight settle on your shoulders. The air feels thick, almost suffocating, as if the energy itself is oppressive. You don't need to see or hear anything specific. You can just feel it deep inside of you. The tension, the coldness, the negativity that fills every corner of the room. The people in that space might not even say anything cruel, but their energy, their demeanor, and everything about the environment leave you drained and emotionally raw. It's as if every step you take within that space pulls at your mental and emotional health, piece by piece. I've been in those places, and it's a struggle to even make it through a short visit without feeling utterly defeated by the end. And here's the thing. Your mental health is just as important as your physical health. You wouldn't continue to subject yourself to a situation that harms your body. So why do we sometimes let our minds suffer through the same type of toxic environment? If visiting someone's home consistently brings you nothing but anxiety, sadness, and stress, or makes you feel unappreciated, then you owe it to yourself to stop going. I don't care who they are or what kind of obligation you feel. Your emotional well-being should be non-negotiable. It's crucial to protect your peace, and that means choosing spaces, whether it's your home or someone else's, that nurture you and make you feel safe, comfortable, and valued. No one should make you feel like you're walking on eggshells in their presence, and no one should leave you emotionally drained after every interaction. Let's face it, we all need a place to rest our minds, to find calm after a long day, and if certain homes are not that place for you, then it's time to step away. You deserve a space that lifts you, not one that weighs you down. Trust me, your heart and mind will thank you for it. Number 7. The home that no longer aligns with your growth. As we journey through life, time has a way of shifting our desires and values. The things we once cherished lose their sparkle, and we begin to crave something deeper. We seek wisdom, peace, and the kind of meaningful conversations that nourish our souls. We yearn for environments where we feel safe to be our true selves, and where we are encouraged to grow and evolve. But there's something so heartbreaking about realizing that not everyone is on the same path. Some people, whether they are family, friends, or even our partners, stay stuck in their old ways, trapped in toxic habits, indulging in shallow discussions, and clinging to self-destructive behaviors. It's painful to witness, especially when it's a place that was once a sanctuary for you, now becoming a cage that stifles your growth. If your home, your relationships, or the people around you no longer support who you are becoming, then it's time to take a step back. This doesn't mean you stop loving them. It means you prioritize your growth and your peace. If the people in your life consistently bring out the worst in you, fostering negativity, draining your energy, or making you feel less than others, then it's okay to walk away. This can be one of the hardest decisions of your life, but it's one of the most necessary. You deserve to be surrounded by spaces and people who nourish your mind, body, and spirit, not by toxic energy that eats away at your peace. You deserve a home that feels like a sanctuary, a place where you can truly be yourself and grow into the person you're meant to be. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. As the years pass, we start to understand something profoundly simple yet hard to accept. Not every relationship deserves to be preserved, and not every space is where we belong. This realization often comes with a deep sense of loss of time, of energy, and sometimes even of love. But it's also a gift. Because at this stage in life, we've learned that our time is our most precious commodity. Our peace of mind is a treasure, and our happiness should never be compromised for the sake of outdated obligations or toxic ties. It's a hard truth. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And so, you must learn to let go, not with bitterness, but with grace. Not with resentment, but with understanding. You've given enough. Now, it's time to honor yourself and your well-being. The reality of time, your most valuable asset, is something we often take for granted. Every moment spent in negativity, in a space or relationship that drains you, is a moment you'll never get back. Time is finite, and once it's gone, it's gone. Every hour wasted in an environment that takes from you instead of giving is an hour stolen from your joy, your peace, your freedom. And when you're older, you simply cannot afford to waste the precious time that remains. So, take a long, hard look at your surroundings. Be honest with yourself about where you're investing your energy and whether it's serving your highest good. You can't keep holding on to relationships or spaces that no longer make you feel whole. It's okay to leave. It's not selfish, it's essential. Your well-being is your responsibility. The power of peace, walking away without guilt, is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Walking away is not an act of cruelty, it is an act of self-respect. It is the recognition that you have the right to protect your peace and preserve your emotional and mental health. Too often, we carry the weight of guilt, believing that we must continue fulfilling roles and obligations that no longer serve us. But let me tell you this, you are not selfish for choosing your well-being over outdated expectations. You are not a bad person for putting your soul first. You have already given enough. You've tried enough. You've spent years trying to make things work. Now it's time to reclaim your peace and take control of your life. True happiness, the kind that lingers in your heart and warms your spirit, is found in meaningful connections, not in shallow interactions. True joy is not derived from obligatory visits or forced conversations. It's found in the company of people who truly see you, who appreciate you, and who respect your boundaries. The people who make you feel safe, loved, and valued. Let go of the idea that you must keep everyone in your life just because of family ties, history, or fear of being alone. Life is too short to surround yourself with people who do not uplift you. It is so much more fulfilling to have a few real connections that truly nourish your heart than to be surrounded by countless empty ones that only drain you. The final lesson: live for yourself, not for others. As we age, we begin to understand that not every invitation must be accepted, not every call must be returned, and not every door must remain open. We don't have to say yes to everything. We don't have to keep up with every social norm or obligation. The greatest freedom in old age is the freedom to choose how you want to spend your time, where you want to invest your energy, and who you want to let into your life. And with that freedom comes responsibility. The responsibility to protect your peace, to prioritize your happiness, and to honor yourself above all else. Do not let guilt, fear, or social pressure dictate your choices. Live for yourself. Choose peace. Choose happiness. Choose you. Because in the end, you are the one who has to live with your choices. So make them count. As we wrap up today's video, I want to thank you for taking the time to reflect on the powerful lessons we've shared. It's not easy to let go of the things, places, and relationships that no longer serve us, but it's one of the most freeing and empowering choices we can make in life. So, take a moment to think about what you've learned today. What resonated with you? Is there one lesson that stood out, something you know you can put into practice starting today? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below and share with us one thing you've learned that you're going to bring into your own life. Let's all support each other in creating the life we deserve. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. We've got plenty more to help guide you toward a more peaceful, joyful, and fulfilling life. Until next time, take care of yourself, and remember, you deserve to live the life that makes you truly happy.